Hello YouTube. So this is month one, since we're going to be doing months instead of weeks, since people tend to be busy, and yeah, so we're going to be doing months. So each of us will be doing one video a month. Anyways, so this week's or month's topic is going to be coming out and how we knew we were transgender, I guess. Um, for me, growing up, I was always very tomboyish and really jealous of guys in general, like how they would always be able to, run around with their shirts off and pee standing up and all that stuff. I ended up being very, very jealous of that and irritated that I could not do those things. At one point when I was little, I tried to run around without a shirt on and I got scolded for it, so yeah, I think I met this guy while going to Anime North actually, and he was trans. And before that, I had really no idea what being trans was, or nor did I really know anybody who was trans. And after I met this guy, I started questioning myself and wondering, what if I'm like that? It would explain a lot, right? So I kind of looked into it, researched it, stuff like that, and found out that it seemed more and more likely that I was this thing called transgender. And I talked to people about it, stuff like that, and then this is probably the worst thing I could have done, but it just kind of happened, I was working at a summer camp thing with children, and it was like a literacy camp. They would learn how to read and stuff like that. And so basically, while I was there, all the kids were confused. This was before I started hormones or anything, but the kids would be confused, and they didn't know if I was like a guy or a girl or anything. So at one point, people started calling me Lex, which was a version of my birth name that was kind of masculine, and I liked that, because it was kind of gender neutral and stuff. Sorry, my hair's being stupid. And then the one leader came up to me and asked me, he's like, so a lot of the kids have been coming up to me and asking, what are they supposed to refer to you as? Are you a guy or girl? And so I was wondering, what do you want to be referred to as? And I'm sitting there and I'm like, in the spur of the moment kind of thing, like I was asked what gender I wanted to be, referred to as, and in that moment, I just kind of went for it, and I was like, I want to be male, call me Lex, I'm a he. And like this was virtually when I first ever came out, was at this camp for children. And it was probably a terrible thing, but it was almost like a spur of the moment thing, and it just, happened. And yeah, ever since that day, I had been referring to myself as male, and getting people to start referring to me that way as I referred to myself that way. At one point way back when, actually, nope, sorry, that's for another video, I think. So I'll tell you that later, but yeah, so that's generally how I first, realized who I was, and when I first came out. My mom kind of knew for, like, my whole life, I guess, that I'm trans. She was hoping that I would never actually be that way, but kind of knew that it was gonna happen. So when I told her, I'm like, Mom, I'm a boy, and she's like, but she's pretty okay with it now. I mean, she doesn't entirely like it, but she refers to me as her son. She calls me Zander. Still having a little bit of trouble with the pronouns. I mean, it's been over a year, but she's my mother, so I'm a little more lenient. But yeah, so she's doing quite well with it now. Most of my family is not entirely okay with it. They're more so refusing to accept it. And I hope that someday soon they will accept me, knowing that there's not really much they can do about it at this point. But I know they still love me and stuff, but it just kind of hurts that they won't, you know, accept who I am. um, but yeah, so coming out to my friends, I found was really easy. Most of my friends were part of the LGBT community in the first place, so it wasn't that difficult. I was in school for like a victory lab thing at 12B. Even though I had graduated, I just wanted to go back to school for a bit before I moved out. So in any case, I dropped out of school to move out, but it didn't matter because I'd already graduated. But at this point, my foster mom came in with me to see the vice principal, and we talked to her about the teachers calling me Zander and he and stuff. And so basically, throughout that entire time I was at school, the teachers referred to me as Zander and as masculine, and that was pretty fantastic. And when I went to my graduation, which my school was kind of weird, so it had graduation in the beginning of the next school year in like November instead of at the end of, you know, our graduating year kind of thing. So at that point I had come out as trans and stuff. So at my graduation, in front of everybody, I got to wear a suit and a bow tie and everything, and they called me he in the ceremony in front of everybody, and you have no idea how happy that was for me. But yeah, that was a good day, and yeah, so now it's been almost a year and 5 months, and everybody, except for some of my family, calls me he and accepts me for who I am, and I truly appreciate that. So yeah, that's my coming out story, and yeah, I guess I have it pretty good compared to a lot of people, but I'm more than happy to be here for people that, you know, need my help in situations where they don't feel like people accept them and stuff like that. Because it kind of makes me happy to be able to help people that have been in a similar situation I have, because I know how difficult it can be, and people need someone there for them. So, yep. So I'm more than happy to help people. So yeah, so this is my video, and everyone else from this channel shall be uploading theirs soon. So, this is Zander, and see you next month.